All right, John Mara. This is from Tom Rock from Newsday. He's sending out different quotes that John Mara is giving, talking to the media. We asked for John. I don't know if we're going to get him today or not. John Mara, I initiated conversation with Reese to get a look at other quarterbacks. I expected an emotional reaction. It's been in excess of what I expected. Given what he has meant to this franchise, it's understandable. I don't think he should be writing his obituary yet. A lot of things can change. We have some tough decisions to make before the start of next year. Remember, he gets a roster bonus 3 days in. I had a very emotional talk with Eli on Wednesday. I told him I didn't want him to go out like this. He understands at some point we had to look at the other quarterbacks because he's not going to play forever. I was hoping it would turn out differently. I thought he would continue to play portions of the games. He didn't want to do it that way. I don't know how John expected him to do that. He's not only a special player, but he's a special person. To see him get emotional is very difficult. Had no conversation with Eli about his no-trade clause yet. There's no completely clean way to handle this. I don't know if this will give us all the info on the other quarterbacks, but it's better than nothing. Obviously, we're going to have a high draft pick, and there will be quarterbacks available. I want to make that decision based on watching these guys. Davis will play. I don't like to interfere in those things about when players play, but Davis will play. There's probably a better way we could have done this, but I don't know what it is. Tell me what it is. The point is we wanted him to start the games, and we wanted the other guys to play at some point. It is his decision, which we respect. See, but this is not what McAdoo reflected yesterday. He reflected that this was the best thing for the team and the best chance to win. That's not what this is about now, because clearly this was initiated now by the owner. Well, I'm not saying McAdoo didn't want it because he wanted it, but it sounds like it was initiated now by Mara. Or at least they thought about it at the same time. I'm not sure who came to who first. I have so much respect for Eli. Yeah, well, you really showed it. That it would take his desires. I would take his desires into consideration this offseason. We obviously have some decisions we have to make this offseason about the coach and the general manager. I wish I could have been here when it was all going down. I did not expect Eli to react the way he did. That took me by surprise. He's a competitor, and he wants to be out there. I didn't tell him that he's a Giant for life, but I want him to realize that he's a Giant. He knows that. John Mara asked about McAdoo, said, we're 2-9. I'm embarrassed. Nobody's doing a good job. On the Giants tanking, that's complete blank. We would never do that. Asked if Eli will play in the NFL next year. He says, I think he will, yes. John Mara, Eli has such respect from our fans, so much love and affection for him. It's a major decision for this franchise. We know he's a beloved figure. People are not going to like it. We know how much the fans love him. I had some pause, John Mara said, after Eli said he wouldn't play with our plan. I thought he would. Once I realized that he wouldn't, we went ahead anyway. Asked if McAdoo is safe for the rest of the year, John Mara said there are no guarantees in life. So John Mara admitting that he was on board with this, that he wanted to see the other quarterbacks. See, if they had explained it that we need to see the other quarterbacks and didn't make it so much a Geno Smith issue, and if the coach who does everything wrong hadn't come out and said, that's what I said yesterday, let's see how they explain this, and the coach came out and said, this gives us the best chance to win, this gives us the best chance of having a game plan this week, that is ridiculous, but that's not what's going on here. This was initiated by the franchise to look at the other players before they go into the draft where they're going to draft a quarterback. And they know they're going to draft quarterbacks. They're going to have young quarterbacks on the roster. They're going to want to play them. I understand that. I don't have a problem with that. but they should not have ever done this to Eli. And clearly John Mara is telling you here he did not think Eli was going to take this way. He was going to play part of the games and play that, but Eli wanted no part of that because he knew how phony it was. But how are you trying to win the games if you're going to play the games with multiple quarterbacks? Once you're going to play the game with multiple quarterbacks, you're not trying to win the games anymore. What do you do if a quarterback goes 14 for 14? You take him out of the game? And they weren't telling Eli he might play the game. They're telling him he will play the game. So, listen, it's an ugly situation. It was completely mishandled. It's just and the coach made it worse by how he explained it, because he made it sound like this is this decision is what's best for the team. Seeing the players is one thing. Telling me that this gives you the best chance to win is a completely different thing. If they had said, listen, if they had Webb ready and said, listen, we want to play the youngster so that we can see whether we want to keep him or we needed to draft a quarterback or whether we don't think we need a quarterback, I understand that at 2-9. Everyone would understand that at 2-9. Eli wouldn't like it, but he would understand it. That's not what it was given here. This was told. We were told that they were putting him on the bench because Geno Smith gave him the best chance to win the game, which to us is ridiculous. And that's how it was explained yesterday, and that's what made the uproar. There would not have been the uproar. There would not have been the uproar from me if he had ever explained it that, hey, I need to see these two quarterbacks in the next 5 weeks so that I can figure out how I can make an educated decision about what my quarterback situation is. I would have understood that. Everyone would have understood it. It doesn't mean you like it, but you would have understood it. That's not how it was explained. I'm surprised that they thought that Eli would accept being part-time quarterback and doing that to keep the streak alive. That does surprise me that they'd even think that he would consider that. So we'll try to get John Mara. I don't know that we will. He's already talked to the media. We just gave you the quotes. Thanks to the getting that from Newsday and Tom Rock. He's kind of tweeted those out as they've come available. Those are the words of John Mara. Back after.